One thing I've learned recently is that when you are honest, you lose all of the people that never really deserved to be in your life anyway. And it's just getting to the point now where I'm not afraid to lose anybody. Of course, I don't want to lose people, but I'm not necessarily afraid to lose people if I need to. And the more that we walk this path, the more grounded we are in God, and the more that we really stand true to who we are and what we are and own who we are, the results are going to eventually just prove themselves. You're not going to be somebody that anybody can deny, basically, because you have the results that speak for you. But when you're on the come up and when people don't realize who you really are, when people think they know who you are, and they talk down to you perhaps, or they want to meander their way into your life to give you unsolicited advice that you never really asked for. And the cool thing that I like about YouTube or X or Rumble and all these other social media platforms is, for the most part, you have to go seeking for content like this. And so for the most part, most people are going to be watching this channel, the Regal Change channel, and most of the people are going to be seeking this stuff out. But that's not going to always be the case with the people that are around you in your environment or just in your life in general. And these people might do, they might not even know what they're doing, but they might be performing acts of witchcraft on you, and they don't really know. And they're trying to bestow this wisdom upon you, and you're just sitting there like, yep, like you are levels above these people, you are light years beyond these people, and you have to play this fool, because if people really know and knew who you really were, they wouldn't be able to handle it. It's so crazy, because I never tell anybody to dim their light, but man, oh man, sometimes these people want you to dim your light because they don't know how to handle your light, and they don't know what it's like to really look at somebody like yourself that has the results, but maybe you just don't flash them. You don't talk about them. You don't try to prove anything to anybody, because you don't have anybody to prove anything to except for God. You have nothing to prove except for who you really are, and are you demonstrating that you are who you are with God? Because there will be tests that God gives you where he's basically saying, are you really who you say you are? Are you? Because if you're not, there's going to be certain things that happen to you, and you might not even realize it. And the people that I've seen that are the most true to themselves and that are on the path, they're the ones that go through attacks, spiritual attacks, nearly every day. It's another day, another spiritual attack. It's not even it's not even something that we worry about anymore, because we're demon slayers. We know what it's like to fight these demons. We know that the flesh is weak, but the spirit is strong. And we know not to lean on our flesh. We know to lean on our spirit. And there are some people in the world that think that they just, like they know everything. They really do. They think that, they'll throw these punches at you spiritually. And you're sitting there like, man, I wasn't even trying to fight. Like, I wasn't even trying to fight you spiritually. But hey, you know what? If you want to fight spiritually, okay, so be it. Man, I woke up, you guys can probably tell in my voice, maybe a bit nasally or something, or just deeper. I woke up feeling like absolute crap this morning. Oh my gosh. Whatever's going on with this, I don't know if it's acid reflux or if it's just this weird cold or what. I don't know what it is, because yesterday, in my video that I talked about yesterday, I mentioned how I had a dream of people in my past trying to stop me. And when I woke up from the dream, it was like I had this acid in my throat, and it was burning. It was a burning sensation. It was really terrible. Last night I could barely sleep, and I could barely, like, in the morning wake up and like feel as though I'm ready for anything. I just felt super drained. It was, my body was aching. I just didn't feel great at all. Nothing, just nothing good, really. And I was just gonna, not go to the gym because I don't want to get anybody else sick and all this stuff. And I have a minor cough, but nothing crazy. But this morning I coughed up a bunch of phlegm, and I was like, I'm just not gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna chill. And God told me, no, you're going to the gym. And I was like, what? It's like, no, you need to have faith that all manners of sickness will be healed. Okay. Well, all right. And basically, it was like, don't worry about getting other people sick. Okay. So that's what I did. I went to the gym because I didn't really want to go. I still didn't want to go. So I rested for a little bit. And I just was like, I'm just not going to go super hard, whatever. I go to the gym, and people throughout my time at the gym, I had these more deeper conversations with people, and which people don't usually. I find that people are willing to have them, but they oftentimes think that the conversation is above them, or they're above the conversation rather. And it's like, it's I again, this is where you just have to sit back, and you just have to play the double agent that you need to be. You need to be that move wise as a serpent but harmless as a dove. And these people just started coming up to me and talking to me. And after I played some racquetball and such, because I wasn't gonna go hard, I was just gonna play around and get some light weight in, go on the treadmill for a little bit, nothing crazy. But everywhere I went after playing racquetball, it was like these people were just trying to talk to me, and I've never talked to these people, but they were trying to talk to me about all these like deeper conversations, and they were just telling me what they think about things, and it's like, what is happening? And then they finally asked me, well, what do you think about this? I said, well, I think X, Y, and Z about that. And I was just blatantly honest. I didn't hold back, but I was very calm and cool and collected about it. And these people were shocked. Like, some of them were genuinely shocked that I said something, and like that specifically. And they just couldn't believe it. They just couldn't fathom the idea that somebody actually had the gall to say what they actually thought. Like, that was the kind of response that I got from these other people. And so they were really surprised, and immediately I started to feel my impenetrable shield of faith surround me, because I could feel their energy trying to like attack me. And I was just, because I was feeling like crap, like I was already like super chill, because I didn't want to exert too much effort into anything really. And I didn't have a fever. I still don't have a fever or anything. It's just this sore throat, a minor cough with some phlegm, and body aches. That's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. But I still did what I needed to do. I'm still working. Like, I'm doing this video. I have some other work that I'm going to be doing the rest of the day and tonight. I'll do the best that I can. I'm not going to go, again, super hard, but entrepreneurship, you don't get days off. You don't get sick days on entrepreneurship. When you're building a brand by yourself or with a small team of people that you can trust, you don't get days off. So I'm just going and doing as much as I can, doing what I can today, because I know that the party don't stop. The party does not stop, and I've got to keep the ship going and keep the ship moving. Otherwise, we're gonna run into some waves. So, this just goes to show also that people really want to believe you as a godly person that is truly following the Most High God, Christ. They don't want to see you shine that light. They don't want to see you really be who you are. And these spiritual attacks, like in my video yesterday, I talked about how I really felt like I was like I had a hex or something on me, or I had a spell cast on me. And today it was just that I was so chill and I was so grounded in my faith, even though I felt like crap. I was so grounded in my faith that nothing could be done. Like there was nothing that these people could do to perturb me. And that was a great, significant feeling. And the severity of the situation as a whole was nullified. I was just very calm, cool, direct. And that's how you got to be when it comes to spiritual attacks. We battle in the spirit and not the flesh as godly people. And so this is just going to be one of those times where you've got to just take everything that's happening and move forward in faith and trust that you walk by faith, not by sight. And it's really, that really is something to think about as well, to walk by faith and not by sight. What exactly does that mean? Well, it means stop trying to prove your point to people. Like, stop trying to prove a point to yourself. The only point that you need to prove to anybody is God, and that is through having faith. And you don't have faith in anybody or anything or any idol or whatever. You have faith in Him. And, to some of these people that were talking to me at the gym this morning, it was kind of strange. I practically bore my testimony to them. And it was like evangelizing without evangelizing. It was just a conversation. And I think those kinds of conversations are much more graceful, and there's a lot more utility when it comes to that, especially if they're coming to you and then they're asking you questions and you just answer brutally transparent and honest. Of course, you've got to be mindful of who you're talking to. If this person is not open or compassionate, you've got to be able to see that. And sometimes people they're trying to just get information out of you. So you got to be careful, you got to be mindful. Like there was one person that was talking to me and he was asking me about what do I do when I'm not at the gym and such. And I could tell that he was actually genuinely curious. But he also was trying to see, like, okay, it was one of those guy things where it's like, okay, I've seen this guy around. Because at first he was talking to me about my workouts that I do and how they're super cool and all this stuff. And he's like, well, so what do you do when you're not at work, like, or working out? Like, what do you do for work? And I told him I do a lot of things. And he's like, well, like what though? And I said, well, what do you want to know exactly? Like, are you talking about hobbies or what? And this person goes, well, yeah, like for hobbies or work or whatever. And I said, well, I like to say I help people grow closer to God. And then he started talking about how his background in his spiritual understanding and all that. And he asked me why I do what I do. And I said, well, because my faith helped me more than anybody or anything else. Excuse me. And so that's what I said. And it was weird in these conversations. I wasn't necessarily coughing or anything like that. Like I could really just feel the presence of God really fully. But excuse me, guys. I was doing so good up until this last little bit, but we're probably gonna have to call the video for today. Like I said, I got more stuff to do, so I hope this video was useful and insightful, and peace be with you all. Until next time.